so I had to move to where the work was, basically, and I moved down to Texas. I submitted my demos to the local studios through their submissions, like emails and stuff like that, and I took classes around the area that were with casting directors and stuff like that. So I built up more skills that way, and then so I would get auditions, and then I would do the auditions for those, and then so that eventually I booked like background stuff and went on from there. So basically, that everybody's journey is different, but that's how I did it.
And how many, when you say it took that time, how long of a period of time was that?
From when I moved to Texas,
Yeah.
6 to 8 months.
That actually sounds pretty good.
I got lucky. I mean, I had known some people as well, so that helped. But like, that helped me get like the emails to send. But like, yeah.
Do you have to be a member of like the Screen Actors Guild or anything like that?
I am a member of SAG. Well, their financial core or something, so I can do both union and non-union. But since I'm in Texas, technically I didn't have to be because it's a right-to-work state. But I do work in LA as well, so if I record work in LA, I need to be part of SAG to do that. But it really depends on the project. Most anime is non-union right now, so it doesn't really matter. You don't have to be part of SAG for that. And even if you aren't part of SAG, you can be Taft-Harley'd into 3 projects before you're must join.
Okay.
Yes.
When you get started in casting or in voice acting, are you like required to move to any number of specific cities? Is it kind of easy remotely? Or?
So with the pandemic, it's become easier to do things remotely. Unfortunately, I think it's starting to close up again. Like my friend in LA was saying, about 80% of the work he does now is back in studio. And I know that Funimation is looking to go back in studio as well, and close things up and just only work remotely with like the people they already know and trust. So while right now you can still do things remotely, I don't know how long that will last. Yes.
What are things you like and dislike?
Well, I like being able to tell stories and be the characters, and it's a fun job when I'm in the booth, and you know, I like the fact that I can do what I love. And yeah, acting's just great. What I don't like is the instability of the thing. It's like that it's not you book this big role and then suddenly you never have to worry about work anymore. Everybody is always worrying about work. All the famous actors are still worrying about if they're gonna get their next gig. So that's like, you know, that's life in the arts, basically. So yeah, the instability definitely, like I could go, there are slow and fast periods. Like some days, some weeks I could work like 12-hour days between directing and acting, while other weeks I'm just playing Pokemon all day. So yeah, and then you sit there going, I'm never gonna work again, everybody hates me, I'm a failure, and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, it's you have to have a lot of resilience to do it, and remember that you're not going to die or whatever if you have a slow week or 2 or 5 or whatever. So yeah, those are basically my likes and dislikes. Anybody else? I'm not gonna kill anybody. Yes.
What's the role you're most proud of and why?
God, that's a hard one. Probably Nana from Higurashi. There are just so many facets to her, and it changes at like the drop of a hat. Yeah, she's just so emotionally complex and getting to that layer of insanity that she has, but like at the same time remembering that she's at that layer of insanity because she wants to protect her father. She wants to make sure, she's just doing this all because she's a very good girl and just wants to work harder to be able to protect those that she cares about. So like just getting to that crazy part, and it's also just very vocally stressful. So yeah, and I did all of Rena from my closet. So I am in my booth is a 3x3 closet. And so like doing all those like large gestures, like when she's stabbing and all that stuff and all that while inside the closet was a thing. It got very warm when we were recording this in the summer because I can't have my AC on or else it shows up on the microphone. So like those long sessions got very strenuous. But yeah, so like on a physical and emotional level, I'm probably most proud of Rena. And I just love her very, very much. She's just such a good girl. Yes.
If anything, you know about the info on the Crunchyroll and Funimation merger? If there's any thoughts about that you have on that, and what is going on with that?
I honestly, they leave us all in the dark for that. Like, I just know that they're hiring more people, but we don't really know much about it, to be completely honest. Yes?
How was your experience recording Demon Slayer?
Well, my first session for Demon Slayer, which is the episode that comes out tomorrow, when I got the casting email, it said, note, sessions may be vocally strenuous. Because all she does is wail and scream and cry. And the thing is, that session was at the end of a 12-hour day, in which I was also recording Orient, which Sugumi also does a lot of fighting and screaming and fun stuff. So it was an experience. I have a lot of fun with Suma. I probably sound incredibly annoying, but she's incredibly annoying and obnoxious, so it checks out. Like, there were some where like I would like do the line and like try not to sound too annoying, and then the director would be like, no, bigger, even bigger, and I'm like, okay. I mean, if that's what you want. So yeah, she's a lot of fun. I love being able to go all out with her. I love all the faces that she makes. It's, yeah, you know, she's just such a gremlin, but she's also such a cinnamon roll, and it's wonderful. She's precious.
So when you talk about the faces that she makes, you're actually like watching the animated part of it while you're voicing it?
Yes, because we have to match the flaps on the screen.
Yeah. All right.
Which is what makes things really difficult when everything is so dynamic and you have to match the words to the flaps, and it's
Was that project in studio or from your closet?
that was also from my closet. Most of my stuff has been from my closet.
At least you get a tax reduction this year, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, taxes weren't great this year. You know what? Because everything is via 1099s. So when you have a good year of work, you have a bad year of taxes. I remember getting, when I was working on my taxes on TurboTax, I was just like, this is a lot. Let's start putting in the deductions, please. Yeah. Yes.
What do you think was the most difficult role you had?
Difficult role. Well, the most difficult role I had is actually NDA right now. But another difficult one would be Sugumi from Orient. Her big episode, well, she just really was introduced recently, this week actually, in the series. And she is very dynamic, but also her story is that she has been abused, both verbally and physically, her whole life, by the person who took her in. And so she's very conflicted. She's been gaslit the whole time and deals with a lot of trauma from that. So her moods go all over the place, but but she's also incredibly insecure because every single day that guy tells her that she's worthless and she's useless. So getting into that headspace when I also deal with like insecurity issues and mental illness, like it made it very difficult, and it's a very uncomfortable place to be. And so I think that's probably why she was a very difficult character for me to play, because of how raw everything is for her. well, and the fact that even when she's all happy in in the scenes like outside of those moments, there's like that underlayer where it's not really happy. It's just fake, and she's telling herself everything is okay. Yes.
I know you probably, especially with with COVID, probably work alone usually in the booths and things like that. But is there any like other voice actors that you like admire and like to work with, like in the future?
Let's see. I would love to work with Christina Valenzuela, because I've known her, God, 15 years I think at this point. So like we've done some song covers together, and I've like used to talk to her on the phone all the time, like years and years ago. So yeah, it would be really great to work with her sometime. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Colleen O'Shaughnessy. I think she's the voice of Tails, but like she was one of my inspirations because of one of the reasons why I wanted to get into voice acting is because of Tales of Symphonia, and she plays Genus in that, and like I just love her performance of him so much. So yeah, those would be my two big ones. Probably also Laura Bailey, because she's just incredible. Yeah, those probably the three. Yes.
What anime and video games have you been playing recently?
So I don't really watch very much, unfortunately, because if I watch stuff, I want to be in them, and you get attached, and it's really sad. But for video games, I've been playing Horizon Forbidden West. Absolutely gorgeous, oh my god. And I remember when that game came out, I was actually guesting at Katsucon that weekend, and I told my fiance, I was like, you are not allowed to open that game until I get home. And another one, I'm just goofing around in Pokemon Legends Arceus, because I just love those games where you can just do whatever. Let's see. I'm planning on replaying Trails in the Sky sometime, just because the Trails of series is really great. And I have a very long backlog, and I have a habit of like stopping games right before the final boss. So technically I'm still playing Tales of Arise, because I stopped right before the final boss of that one. So yeah, that's mostly what I've been playing lately. Anybody? You can ask like about anything really. Yep.
What was it like the first time you got recognized in public?
I don't think I've ever been recognized in public, so it's fine. I mean, I wouldn't recognize me in public either. But yeah, I mean, I guess at a con, I was just like kind of surprised, because I still feel like a baby, because I've only really been doing this for like 3 years. So, and I've just gotten so many opportunities, and I'm so grateful to like all the people who like put their faith in me, you know? So yeah, I don't really, yeah.
What were you doing before voice acting?
I have a master's degree in classical piano. So I graduated from that, so I was still living in New York City. And then I was trying to, figure out what to do with my life, because I had gotten accepted to doctoral programs for it, but I couldn't afford them. So I was like, maybe I'll just come back to it and audition again or something and work in the meantime. So I was a physician's office assistant at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. That job eventually sent me to the ER, because I am not one, I cannot do work where I feel guilty, because I would take the patient's problems home with me. And like my surgeon that I was the assistant for, he would like fly off to Italy randomly and be like, can you reschedule my whole, the clinic for tomorrow? And I'm like, are you kidding me? And so I'd have to like call these people, and then they'd say things like, it's not easy dying, and I'm just like, I'm like doing the best I can, and I wish I could help you. So like, it just drove me insane. And then from then on, like, I basically flew down to, the stuff happened, I flew down to Texas to take a class, Sunny Straight's acting class. I was like, do you think I could do this? And he's like, yeah, definitely. And so I told my fiance, I was like, I want to move to Texas. So that's how that all started. Yeah.
How was it like being directed, like in COVID?
So it's different because everything is like through Source Connect now, so you're like, you don't get to see the director. So sometimes it's kind of like, was that good or not? And then like, you're kind of like, are you talking or are you muted right now? So like, you know, most of the experience is pretty similar, but there's like this added barrier where you don't have that personal connection, and you're just kind of like, I don't know what's going on. I can't read your face right now. I can't see it, so I don't know if you like it or not. And I assume like the people that I direct probably feel the same way. So yeah, I'm just glad that we're able to do it remotely though. Like, I remember the first few months of the pandemic when they didn't do this stuff, do it remotely. Yeah, we were all sitting there like, are we ever gonna work again? Yes.
You had mentioned that, like, you had your music degree and you had done some music covers. What kind of music do you like performing, and what kind do you like listening to? And are they different?
Okay, so I usually performed classical music like Schumann, Beethoven, Rachmaninoff, etc. These days, I haven't done it in a while because I've been busy, but I used to stream on Twitch where I would play just piano arrangements of video game and anime music. I had done a whole concert that was Nier themed a year or two ago where I was cosplaying 2B while doing that. And then I have some videos on YouTube of that. And I remember for MomoCon Online, I had done like a video game and anime themed recital for that. So that's the stuff that I play. As far as music that I listen to, I mean, back when I was learning music, I basically only really listened to classical music because I needed to learn the stuff and there were listening exams and all that. But now, a lot of it is like just video game soundtracks or visual K, J-rock, Japanese rock. Very into visual K. It's like my aesthetic. I own so much Japanese fashion. It's a problem, but yeah, so that's mostly what I listen to. Anyone? Yeah.
Do you have any pets?
Yeah, I have a cat named Noctis. He's really cute, and he's actually my phone grip. I made a phone grip of his face like... he's a Siberian. He is very, very fluffy. He's like this big. He's very long and very fluffy, but it's like, where does fluff end and where does cat begin? So he looks big, but like he's actually not fat.
Get him wet, you know?
Yeah, exactly. No, he looks like a drowned rat whenever we get him wet. But yeah, he's so playful, and he loves to snuggle. He has snuggle time every morning, where I will sit on the couch and then I will eat my breakfast, and he is staring at me while I eat my breakfast. And when I put the bowl down, he jumps onto my lap and just lies there and snuggles. Yeah, we got a Siberian because my fiance is allergic to cats, but Siberians are hypoallergenic, which is amazing because they are so fluffy. And yeah, he's been great. We take him out on walks where we put him in the little cat backpack while we go hiking. We have tried to get him onto a harness with mixed results. We have led him around the house on the harness while using chicken as bait. He is also incredibly spoiled. Maybe we should not have called him Noctis because he is certainly a little prince. Noctis from Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, he does not eat treats. He only eats sous-vide chicken breasts for treats. Or like the broth that comes with the sous-vide chicken breasts. Yeah, he is so spoiled. But at the same time, he gets like 24-hour access to dry food and doesn't like overeat, which is great. When I'm directing, you can often hear him singing in the background. That's why he is my assistant director. I remember I was doing an audition in my studio, and it was like a general, and I was like, "Is this the roar of warriors?" And then he was like, "Meow!" I was like, "Oh, I want to keep this in there." It was just so funny. But yeah, he is. I don't know how I lived without a cat before getting Noctis, but yeah, he is my baby. Yeah, he is. It's really funny because I told my parents, I was like, "This is your grandchild," and they're like, "We want an actual grandchild," and I was like, "This is your grandchild," and we flew up with him during the holidays, and then they were like, "Come on, Noctis, come on." That's like, I thought you didn't like cats. But yeah, exactly. But yeah, I love him very much. Yes.
Is there a voice role that you auditioned for that you didn't get that you thought you like did good in? Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, plenty. But at the same time, like, you know, I can't say, like, exactly because they're all, like, NDA stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, technically auditioning for stuff is, like, NDA. And you're not allowed to say if you auditioned for something. Yeah, I mean, it's because, like, you never know what the director's looking for, honestly. And, like, you could be perfect for the character, but, like, it might be, but maybe they have a different view of the character, or maybe they just like a different timbre of the voice, or maybe they want to cast their friend. Who knows, honestly? Or, like, maybe maybe you sound too similar to another character in the show, and they don't want two similar voices in there. So then they'll cast somebody who sounds a little different. So, you know, I've learned don't take it personally. So yeah. Yes.
How similar do you have to get to the original Japanese dub, and how much creativity do you add to the voice?
It also depends on the director. Some like voice matches, some
Change it.
yeah, completely.
DBZ.
Yeah, so like, yeah, it really depends. And like some directors want the performance to match the Japanese as much as possible, and some allow you to put more emotion into it or less emotion, or just like, you know, let you build the character more. It really, really does depend. It also depends how much client input is in there, how much control the client has on the property. Because some of them are super picky about that, and like some scripts, they won't even let you edit anything to change it from the translation.
Yeah, that was like how they did the new Neon Genesis
Yes.
dub.
Yeah, that's a lot of times that is because the client is like, you cannot edit anything. For Heaven Official's Blessing, which was that Chinese BL, yeah, they don't let you change anything, and it made things difficult at times. Where we're like, this doesn't fit the flaps at all. I'm gonna have to talk extremely slowly. This sounds really bad, but you know, it's what we have to do. But then there are other scripts, like when I'm directing, I like rewrite like half the stuff because like it doesn't fit the flaps, it doesn't sound like English, etc. Like some writers just, you know, writers are amazing, but sometimes they just don't know how to write specific characters, and then like they'll have like some gangster talking like an aristocrat or something, and it's like that's not how this works.
Plus, you're trying to appeal to American like audience, I guess, with the dub. Like, you're trying to take sometimes they do that where they try to change the words where it kind of fits something similar to American content.
For Restaurant to Another World, there were actually a lot of modern phrases and slang in there that we took out because it's a fantasy setting, and you know, it's like more like, you know, they're dressed like they're from like the Middle Ages half the time, and so we were like, it just sounds weird for them to be saying these phrases, so like we would make them just more formal or fantasy-esque. So yeah, that's one instance. Yes.
Since you played the piano, are you a fan of Your Lie in April at all?
Yes, I actually cosplayed it for Aniplex back when I was cosplaying a lot. At Katsucon one year, they had me cosplay Kaori and play the violin at the beginning of their panel, and then at AX one year, I did. I played. God, what's the main guy's name? I cosplayed him as well. So yeah. Hello, welcome welcome. Who else? Yes.
Does the voice acting work, what's the hours like? Is it like cut into your personal time, or is it like really flexible?
It really depends. You give what hours you're available and hope that they can schedule around that. My agent is always like, does this work? What is you have to send bookouts to your agent so they don't like schedule during times when you aren't available. But like, honestly, I've recorded any time from like 9 a.m. to like 10 p.m. depending, any here and there. It all depends. Oh, actually, I had to go in studio once at like 7 a.m. for a commercial gig because the client was in Korea because it was Samsung. So it really depends. Yes.
How did you find your auditions before you had an agent?
With difficulty. Yeah, basically just by building connections, talking to other actors. Once I got into Funimation, they would send the Funimation ones at least. But you reach out to casting to other studios and stuff like that once you have like a resume and demos and stuff like that. So, and if they like it, maybe they'll send you auditions.
And what does a demo consist of?
A demo is like about 1 minute of just samples of what you can do. Usually you get somebody to write it for you and to direct it and mix it for you. They can get pretty expensive. My current demo is I just cut audio clips of stuff I've bitten and put that together. Whoa! Oh no! I spilled some of the sparkling water.
We can clean that up in a
I'm
bit.
so sorry. But yeah, because a lot of demos, they can cost up to like $1,000 to $2,000, and I don't have that kind of money. So luckily I have work that I can just edit to put into the demo, but yeah. It's basically just showing what you can do.
What kind of equipment do you use for your home studio?
So I use a Neumann TLM 103. That is one of the industry standards for at least dubbing. And my interface is a solid state logic too, which because I use a PC, otherwise people usually use the Apollo Twin, but that doesn't work well with PC and is also much more expensive. So, because that one's like $1,000 for the interface, whereas the solid state logic is $250, and it sounds great. So, PC winning. But yeah, that's basically what I use, and I use Adobe Audition to record and cut the clips. So yeah. Yes.
Have you ever had an incident where you lost your voice from doing something too much?
Luckily I have not lost my voice. I have had a rough voice, and basically when I was recording Rinku from D4DJ, it got rough because like I would have so many hours to record and they were all very high energy. And so it was a lot of tea, a lot of ninjam, a lot of honey citron and cough drops and praying. So yeah, I felt like I was taking like NyQuil every night just in case. And it's hard when like your equipment is like, yeah, like I remember I was always scared of hurting my hands. I was scared of cutting vegetables and stuff like that because with piano, because like if you hurt that, then yeah. Yes.
Do you ever feel discouraged when people say they dislike the English dub?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're human. If someone says they don't like something you do, you're gonna feel sad about it. But you know, you can't please everybody, right? Yeah, no, I'm actually terrified about the reception for Suma tomorrow. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I mean, that's why they always say don't read the comments. But at the same time, it means I'm very happy when someone says they actually like something. So. Anything else? About cats, about life, I don't know. Yeah.
What was it that guided you towards voice acting as opposed to something like stage acting?
wanted to do film and stage when I was younger, and my parents were like, "You're too ugly." So, yeah, and with voice acting, that didn't matter. Yay! It's fine, they're Asian, I'm used to it. So, yeah. Yeah.
So I know some voice actors don't move around when they're doing it. Do you ever feel like moving around kind of like improves your performance?
I love moving around. I'm always moving around. When I remember I was doing a video game session in a studio, and like when I was slashing with the sword, I was actually slashing. The engineer was laughing in the other room. Got a great workout out of it. Yes.
So you currently live in Texas, or?
Yes.
How do you like Texas compared to New York?
Well, it's a lot cheaper, which is
Yeah.
great. When we were in New York, we were paying like $1,750, $1,800 a month for a one-bedroom apartment, which was about 400 square feet. We now own a house in Texas, which we bought for $320,000. It's a 4 or 5 bedroom with 2.5 bath. It's like 2,500 square feet. It's really nice and considerably less money. Yeah, I remember we rented a house in Texas for like 1,300 when we first moved down, and it was like a 1,500 square foot house. So I really like that. I do miss the convenience of just being able to get out there and just walk everywhere. But like the area of Texas that I'm in Dallas, it's pretty nice in general. There's a lot of like Asian groceries, lots of delicious food. Now I live 10 minutes from the K-Town and like the Kinokuniya and like the Japanese bookstore and the Japanese dollar store, Daiso, the H-Mart, tons of great stuff there. I do miss the culture, like all the museums and stuff like that were just so easy to get to. I really miss the red pandas because the zoos in New York have red pandas, and we had a membership to the zoos because the Central Park Zoo was so close to where I worked that I could just walk over there during lunch, look at the red pandas, and then go back to work. So I do miss that actually so much that before the pandemic, my fiance and I decided we were going to fly to Chattanooga, Tennessee, so that we could pat red pandas. It was worth every penny. But yeah, you know, Dallas is great. We quite like it. I just wish more people wore masks and weren't as racist and stuff. And yeah.
We're in this Texan.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, can't win everything.
No.
Yes.
Did you like the movies or have you had a chance to watch them?
I haven't had a chance to watch it because I don't have Disney Plus. But when the first trailer came out, so many people sent it to me. My one friend was like, "Did they just make a movie about your life?" Caitlin Glass was like, "It's you," and I'm like, "Thanks, Caitlin." We still have time.
Was there a character that that you think you could voice that you never got a chance to voice that character? Like any character, like there's any character like basically that you could voice, that you think you could voice, that you got to choose from, like what would it be?
Vivi from Final Fantasy IX. I love voicing little boy characters, and I love Final Fantasy IX. If there is ever a remake of that game, I will beg my agent to find an audition for me. Yeah, that's probably like one of the big ones that I would love to do. Or Lena from Slayers. Yes.
Have you ever voiced a character that you dislike?
probably block them from my memory. I mean, I usually voice like cute little kids, so it's kind of hard to dislike them usually, but I've certainly auditioned for characters that I disliked, and I was like, I'm only submitting this because my agent's gonna be like, why did you submit otherwise? But I guess for the most part, I have been lucky to not really have to voice a character I dislike. They've been put in situations I dislike, but yeah, besides that, they might make choices that I dislike, but I haven't really disliked them as a character. Yes.
You said you're 3 years into working now. Have you gotten to the point where you look back at some of the older roles you did and think, I could have done this a lot better?
Oh, absolutely. I do that when I even just like see the episode that just aired. So yeah, you always leave a session being like, oh, why? Oh, that's awful. Why did the director accept that? Can we go back? I can't ask to go back. That is the plight of an artist. Yeah.
Do you have any like other hobbies that aren't anime related?
So I love urban exploration. Back when I lived in the Northeast, my fiance and I were really big on exploring a bunch of ruins. We would just go on Atlas Obscura and look up ruin, and then go through the list and just drive out places. I have some really great pictures of him trying to get through bars for some places because he's so tall. He's 6'4", and I just love looking at dilapidated buildings and taking pictures of them. And I also cosplay, that's a hobby. And I love taking pictures at the dilapidated ruins in cosplay. Yeah, that's a big hobby of mine. I play video games. I used to draw a bit. I guess piano's a hobby now. Sleeping and eating are really great hobbies. Naps and snacks forever. I'm basically always hungry, so I love snacking and napping and
Sounds like a cat.
Any sports teams?
I sit there and watch football with my fiance and go, yay, sports ball! But I jokingly say that I am a stalwart supporter of the Browns. So yeah, we also say that our giant red panda plushie is a fan of the Browns because he always looks sad, so he can always be disappointed.
Well, now your fiance is really happy you guys got Deshaun Watson.
I mean, if you root for the Green Bay Packers, I mean, always.
He has a friend that roots for them. I mean,
That's my team.
my fiance is from Boston, so you know who he roots for. But yeah, he's just, you know, he's a big sports ball. Yes.
What do you do at conventions when you don't have a panel or like a signing going on or anything?
I really like to look at the artist alley. I just love looking at art. I love the fact that now I have an excuse to commission all these artists for prints and throw money at them because honestly, I just want their art. That is why I have a lot of prints. It's because I wanted the art. But yeah, I love checking out Artist Alley, walking around. I used to cosplay a lot, but now it's just so tiring and I'm old. Yeah, I used to be able to do like 9 cosplay in one weekend. I don't know how I did that. I was crazy. Now I can't even pack it half the time, but I do some cosplay at home. But yeah, my favorite part of the convention though is when I get back to the hotel room and like step into the shower and like it's amazing and then I nap. It's not my favorite part, but it's a pretty great part. I think I got that from all the cosplaying because the best feeling about cosplaying is when you take off the wig and the makeup and step into the shower and you're like, this is heaven. But yeah, besides that, you know, I just chill, hang with friends, drink. Castlevania. It's a good one. Even though, what was it, season 2 or 3, I was just staring at it like, what is going on? I don't even know. Yeah, I think it was 2. Season 2, I was just like, what did I just watch? But yeah, I think that's the last one I binged. Yes.
What are conventions that you've been to?
A lot. As an attendee, I've been to like Otakon, Katsucon, Anime Boston, Anime Next, Anime NYC, Comic Con, New York Comic Con, Fanime, Anime Expo, Acon, what other ones? Some other small ones here and there. Yeah. I used to do a lot because I used to do the cosplay thing a lot, and I also worked at cons in cosplay, so.
So far, what's your favorite con that you've been to?
Fanime, the artist alley there is huge and incredible. Like, it's also apparently a battle royale to get in. It's very difficult to be chosen for the Fanime artist alley, and everybody tries to apply. So yeah, that, and it's just very chill there. It's just a relaxed, it's not an industry con, so it's just very relaxed and comfy, and you just cosplay with your friends, and then you go out to eat, and yeah, it's a nice one. Yes.
If there was a superhero cartoon character that you could voice, which one would it be?
Raven from Teen Titans. Raven's great. Yes.
What's your favorite like J-Rock band?
The Gazette.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of the Gazette. I actually cosplayed Rookie before because I did like I did a J fashion shoot, and everybody thought I was cosplaying Rookie, and I was like, fine, I'll cosplay Rookie. But yeah, I've seen them live, and they're just so good.
Did you see like visual case stuff? Like, you ever listen to During Ray?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw them live a few years ago.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
I love Hyde. Hyde is
High's
amazing.
awesome. Yeah.
Oh man. So
We just
good.
saw the Pillows a few years ago.
Nice.
Yeah. They're awesome.
Yeah, right on Shooting Star.
Yep. We saw Flo.
Yeah, Flo's great. Yeah. Flo was at Fanime the year I went.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we saw him at Otakon.
Yeah.
A few years ago.
TM Revolution I saw at Otakon.
Yes. Yep, we did too.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's
So,
funny.
We saw.
Yeah, he just like keeps stripping during his
Yeah.
concerts. Yeah, right.
We saw Miyavi a few years ago.
Miyavi's great.
Miyavi's really cool.
Yeah. Amazing guitarist.
Yeah.
Wow. Ridiculous. Yeah, I've seen X Japan as well at Madison Square Garden.
Nice.
Yeah, Yoshiki is a character.
I know Alark MCL played at Madison Square Garden
Yeah.
years ago. I went to
Yeah.
saw them, but yeah,
Same.
I mean, it's definitely one I really want to see.
Yeah, 1OK Rock is great too.
Yeah, we saw them too.
Yeah, saw them in New York. Yeah.
Saw them.
I almost died at that concert though. Like no, like we waited since 7 a.m. in line for that one, and then so I was basically in the third row of the concert, but like it got so like by the end of the concert I was like in the 1.5 row because of all the pushing. I was like in the air for most of it, like not able to put my hands
You're
down.
short, it's concerts are
And I even had like,
I'm only, like,
yeah, it was,
crazy.
yeah, I had like platforms and everything, but I was still in the air, like, I can't move, what's going on? I'm gonna die. I was in pain for like a week afterwards, but it was so worth it. Yeah, oh my god, I love J-Rock. Anyone else? Anything? Yeah.
You ever cosplays your own characters?
Yes, I do. I've cosplayed Rena. I've cosplayed Rinku from D4DJ. Let's see. I have in the works Michiru from Talentless Nana, as well as Suma from Demon Slayer, and who else? Hay from Legend of Hay. Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of weird, but it's fun. I'm actually going to be cosplaying Suma with my fiance as Tengen because of the height difference. And he was like, boobs and hips? I'm in.
Do you ever annoy your fiance by talking in different anime voices?
No, because I just make weird noises to begin with. So. Yes.
How much do you interact with your the other voice actors now that you're at home?
I mean, we still chat. Like, I still text with some of them. Like, my closest friend probably is Caitlin Glass. So we're texting like every day. Yeah, I mean, it's still about the same. Because like even when we're recording in studio, you just see people in the halls maybe, but you don't really talk to them. So yeah, I mean, like as long as you had that friendship before, and I've met a lot more. I talk with a lot more LA actors now too. So now that people are more open on the internet after we're forced to be on the internet. So yeah.
Do you rather work, or would you rather work in Texas? Well, you live in Texas, but do you like going to LA? Like, is it fun to occasionally go to LA? Or
I have gone to LA a few times. I mean, it's great. Like, LA's pretty awesome. So yeah. As long as I'm working, I'm happy. Yes.
When you're being directed, how many takes do you usually have to do for each line?
It really depends, but I'm generally pretty fast. A lot of times it's just one take, and then with adjustments for like flaps or whatever. Sometimes it'll take a little bit more if it's a more difficult scene, or we need to fit the flaps more in their rewrites. But yeah, I generally finish my sessions early, so. Which is great for the studios if they're only paying you by the hour, because then they can like cut the amount of hours, and it's like, I'm being punished for doing my job well. Yes.
For home releases, when they re-record, do they ever like re-record the entire show from scratch?
No.
Or no.
It's just that, so when there's going to be a home video release, basically they give you the video they give you the new videos with the old audio to it, and you see what still syncs and what doesn't. And then you do pickups for the stuff that doesn't match anymore. Yeah.
Did you say that you had a class with semi-straight?
Yes.
How was he as a teacher?
Basically how he is. Yeah. Yeah, he's just, full of energy. Really nice guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever met a voice actor and had like a fangirl moment?
See, the thing about me is that I usually watch subs. So, not so much. Yeah, not so much. I have with Seiyu though. Yeah, definitely with Seiyu. And I think if I ever met like Megumi Ogata or something like that, I would probably die on the spot. Yes.
So, do you watch the shows you're in English dub, or do you still watch them sub?
Especially these days, I watch even more stuff subbed because I don't want to work while I'm watching anime. Because otherwise I'll analyze performances, I'll look at flaps in dubs and stuff like that. I watch, if I'm in it, I'll watch the episode just to see how bad I think I sound. But besides that, yeah, I'm not really. It's just a personal preference though, so I just don't want to work while I'm relaxing. And I'm just a big fan of a lot of these Seiyu that I've grown up with, so. Meow. 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 Yeah.
You avoid spoilers for shows.
Yeah. I like finding them out on my own while I'm watching it because I want the full impact. Often I don't watch the episode that I'm in before I go to record it because, you know, it's not as fresh, I guess, just personally. I don't want to be overthinking anything before I go in. And yeah, I just don't like spoilers in general because if you know what's gonna happen, then yeah. Yes?
Has there ever been a show that you didn't really, you know, weren't really interested in before getting cast in it, and then as you were cast in it and did the recording for it, you got into the show as a result?
I am sure. Let's see. Good. I'm blanking only because, like, I'm trying to just remember who I've played. I mean, I got into Talentless Nana after being cast in it. I thought it was interesting, but I'd never watched it or, like, really looked into it. And then, yeah, I got more into it as I recorded and learned more about it. Same with Orient, because, like, I know a lot of my friends were fans of the manga, but I didn't really look into it until afterwards. So yeah, for sure. 'Cause you never know what you're going to be cast in.
Excuse me, just a heads up for everyone, we have about 5 minutes left in the panel, so we can probably take just one more question.
If anyone even has one more question. Yeah.
Do you ever try to base your performance on the Japanese voice acting? Try to match it, kind of your own thing?
That's a hard question because, like, you kind of also just basing it on what you see on the screen, and they're acting what is on the screen, so, like, you have to match that intensity to begin with. So, like, maybe not consciously, but yeah. Yeah, and I know, like, for Rena, I would change the tone of my voice depending on the situation based on how, like, the Seiyu did it. Same with Talentless Nana. Same Seiyu, but, like, when she does in episode 9, when she has, like, the darker thing and her voice drops, I'm like, oh, this is Rena again. Like, yeah. Yes?
What is your favorite anime?
My favorite anime is probably Yu Yu Hakusho. Yes. Yeah. Man. Yeah, I've just loved it for so long, and you know, being shallow, I love Kurama, and also Hiei. Yeah, probably. Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho. I also love Hikaru no Go. I don't know if anybody's, like, read that one. It's older. And Slayers. Slayers is amazing. I love the novels for that one. Lena Inverse is hilarious. It's basically a D&D campaign where everybody just wants to eat and blow things up and find a sword. It's a D&D campaign. And then there's a demon lord in there, you know, as you do. So, yeah. So, yeah, I guess we can wrap it up then. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I really like talking with you. Yeah, I'll have another panel at, like, 6. It's about POC and LGBT representation in VO and in the industry. That's also going to be pretty question style. I'll, like, explain a little bit of my experience and then open it up to whoever's curious about that subject. So yeah, be great if you could be there. If you can't, that's fine too. I'll see you guys around. And I have signings later easier too, but yeah. Thank you again.